So today we're talking about barrels. We're not talking about barrel lengths, we're talking barrel materials and coatings. So I've seen a lot of information out there, some of it good, some of it bad. We're going to try to help clear up some of that information on what we know and how we do things. So first we're going to talk about stainless steel barrels. So I've got a big old stainless steel barrel right here. Stainless steel, phenomenal barrel material. There are some pros and cons to it, as with anything. So with a stainless steel barrel, stainless steel is a softer metal. So what that means is they can actually tool in the rifling grooves a little bit more accurately, so it will lead to a more accurate barrel, generally. This is all generalizations. There are exceptions to everything, but generally, your stainless steel barrels are going to lead to a more accurate barrel. Because stainless steel is a softer barrel material, and because they can get those grooves in more accurately because of that, the con of a stainless steel barrel is you're not going to get as much barrel life out of stainless steel barrels. Barrel life on stainless steel barrels, it can vary wildly depending on firing schedule, loads, what round you're shooting out of it. But generally, for a 5.56 or 223 Wild stainless steel barrel that you're shooting just factory ammo out of, so nothing super hot, you're getting anywhere from 5 to 10,000 rounds. Again, that depends on your firing schedule. So if you're firing one round at a time, letting it cool, letting it kind of recover from that round, and firing again, so that slower rate of fire, say you're doing long range shooting, this barrel is going to lean more towards that 10,000 round mark. If you're just doing mag dumps into trash, we all do it. It's super fun, but stainless steel barrels are probably not the barrel for you if you're doing that. You're going to lean more towards that 5,000 round barrel life. So stainless steel barrels, great barrels for what they are, and definitely a specific use for them. I would say more precision rifles, competition rifles, stainless steel barrels are great. So we are going to move on to the next barrel material here, which is going to be your 4150 barrels, like this little guy right here. So 4150 is a chromoly vanadium. So it kind of has the opposite of stainless steel in a sense. So it is a harder metal. So what that means, you have much longer barrel life, but the opposite is also true for stainless, meaning you get a little bit less accurate barrel generally. It's all generalizations because there are exceptions out there. Um, so for your run-of-the-mill run-and-gun AR-15, so honestly for most people, I would recommend a 4150 barrel, just because that accuracy penalty is not as bad as you would actually think. Most people aren't even going to notice it, generally speaking, um, and you're going to have a much longer barrel life, so you can actually put that money that you would spend on replacing a barrel towards more ammo, so you can go train more and get more time behind your rifle. So with all that being said, there are barrel coatings, which also matter quite a bit. So back to the stainless steel barrel, this guy, as you can see, is raw stainless steel. Again, you're going to get great accuracy. Kind of the penalty is barrel life. Some other coatings out there are going to be a nitride, and well, the two most popular coatings are going to be nitride and chrome lining. So biggest difference between the two. So a nitride barrel, like this little guy again, they basically tool out the barrel however they forge it, which we'll go over different forging processes in a second in terms of how they cut the rifling. So they basically cut the barrel to spec, so what it's going to be like when it ships, and they basically dip this in a liquid hot magma salt bath. What that does is it case hardens the steel itself. So it case hardens the top, I don't know, few thousandths an inch of a steel. I don't know the exact measurement. I'm sure someone will correct me on here. Um, but it, oh shoot. But what nitriding does, and this is actually why it's my preferred barrel material coating treatment, whatever you want to call it, is again, it actually leads to what I found a little bit more accurate barrel, and honestly a little bit cheaper barrel while maintaining that accuracy, because nitriding is a cheaper process to do than chrome lining, And again, they're cutting those grooves to spec. Um, so next we're going to go over chrome lining, like this barrel right here. So this one is a chrome lined on the inside of the barrel and phosphated on the exterior of the barrel. This is your military standard type of coating. So all your military M4s are going to be chrome lined on the inside, phosphated on the outside. Chrome lining, it definitely has its use, and there's a reason there is chrome lining um, still available. In my opinion, the research I've done and the testing we've done, um, the reason I prefer nitriding is chrome lining in terms of barrel life on a 4150 barrel. You're getting a little bit less generally. Um, Granted, you're splitting hairs there, but also chrome lining tends to, on an apples to apples barrel, so for a $200 barrel, apples to apples, a nitriding barrel is going to be of a better quality than a chrome line barrel. Reason being, the process of chrome lining, what they'll do is they'll cut the grooves in the actual barrel itself slightly out of spec, and then go in afterwards and line the barrel to spec with that chrome. So generally, to get a sub MOA barrel or a 1.5 MOA barrel, they have to work a little bit more at getting that chrome perfect, which is why you see very high end chrome line barrels um, that are hand lapped, because they basically have to do that for chrome lining to get those barrels um, that nice. So I will say a great use for a chrome line barrel nowadays is like if you have a very rapid firing AR-15. So if you are one of the lucky few to have a machine gun, or if that rifle is a dedicated purpose of you are just constantly mag dumping, like you have a very nice trigger in there, say a binary trigger or like a Geisley SSAE, and you're just dumping mags over and over again in very high round counts. That's where chrome lining kind of shines. Um, Typically, nitriding is going to kind of give up its first place spot to chrome lining in that specific use case. So um, very fast firing weapons, chrome lining is the way to go. Any other case, I would say nitriding is the way to go. Um, I will also caveat chrome lining. There's a reason that the military still uses it. Back in the day, they like Vietnam era, they had non-chrome line barrels. They were just straight 4150 barrels, and they're burning out barrels in 4,000 rounds. So not ideal in that type of environment. So what the military did was they used chrome lining as a stopgap. So they kind of found chrome lining to be like, okay, we're going to do this while we figure out another solution. And the military being the military, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why do anything different? They just kind of stuck to chrome lining and still do, unfortunately. So there are some newer technology out for barrels where you can kind of get the best of both worlds in terms of um, using a nitride and a stainless steel, which is what this barrel is right here. So this guy is a stainless steel material, but it is a nitride finish. So these guys kind of get the best of both worlds. I'm not, caveat, I'm not an engineer here. I will say, from what I've read, the nitriding doesn't go as deep as a 4150, so you may not get the 4150 barrel life, but you're definitely extending the life of your stainless steel barrel, probably to, I haven't done extensive testing on it, but if I were a betting man, probably 15, instead of 5 to 10,000 rounds, more to 10 to 15,000 rounds. Again, still need to do more testing, so hopefully we'll get an update on that in a couple months when I can get more rounds downrange with a stainless steel nitrided barrel. But from what I've been seeing, it is a phenomenal option in terms of getting the best of both worlds. So you're kind of splitting the difference between a 4150 nitrided barrel and a stainless steel barrel. Now, also a caveat, barrel length matters less than you think. Thanks for watching.